I am Geoffrey in the Roman campaign from the stainless steel titanium mode from medieval to Total War Kingdoms. This song was written in the time of the Crusades for one of the emperors of Byzantium of the Komnenos dynasty, a fitting anthem for our campaign. Alexius Komnenos, the emperor of the Romans, has sailed to Sinope and put it under siege. A Turkish army ventures that way. The Sinope is already invested by the Byzantine army. Our Council of Nobles advises diplomatic contacts with the Cumulus. A diplomat is hired in Constantinople for this task. There is rioting in Chersonesus. The people of that village destroy more of their own garden sheds. Alexius Batagas dies of old age in Nicaea. The Roman Empire is still the most populous and militarily the strongest faction, who said we are a shadow of our former selves.
Yes? Yes, my lord. This is where we shall meet the enemy.
Manuel Butumitis attacks those troublesome rebels that had been marching on Constantinople while our emperor was away on campaign. The rebels have numerical superiority, but our men are better led.
Men, bring our people honor, glory!
So back to the times of the Middle Ages, back to the times of the good old battle AIs, and our enemy has camped on a hill. Our army is moving up that hill, and now we are charging the enemy with our spearmen and cavalry, and the enemy counter charges. So there is now a battle between the spearmen, the contorati of both sides. The enemy contorati have been routed now.
The enemy are badly blooded. They have lost half their men.
And our general is taken prisoners. The enemy still has some cavalry left. Our general has already routed all the other units and ignores for the time being the rebel cavalry. Is concentrating on taking prisoners, and the rebel cavalry, a unit of skirmishing cavalry, are firing missiles at our infantry.
Our army is tiring.
So our enemy has been routed, we are taking prisoners. Here is our general, Manuel Butumitis. And finally the enemy cavalry decides to attack our infantry. They've routed some of our missile units, but now they've been engaged with our spearmen, and this is not a contest they can win. Our general appears in their rear, and some of the other spearmen have given up chasing the retreating army, and now the enemy captain is about to be encircled.
It is unwise to praise the day before sunset, but our men are winning the battle and forging a worthy victory. The enemy flees the battle. Run down those worthless peasants! All of Christendom will be awed by the victory we have won here today.
Manuel Botamites has won a decisive victory. He has punished the rebels with death and infamy for rising against their emperor.
This is a beautiful position to ambush from.
Yes, take the note. Prisoners for? Yes, yes. God will yes, Lord.
The rebels are executed. It is time to restore law and order in the
Little
empire.
mercy. They deserve none.
The Symbasilius, the co-emperor Ioannis Comnenus, marches to Constantinople to prevent further attempts at usurping the throne, and Bryennius takes over the affairs of Adrianople.
Command me.
Manuel Botamites returns to Nicaea, which desperately needs a market. Our accountants in Constantinople project an increase in state income for the first semester of 1102. But let us now return to the siege of Sinope.
Yes! Closing for battle!
The reinforcements from Kaffa have helped to build another 3 siege rams, and the attack on the walls of Sinope can finally begin. Sinope is defended by 3 companies of Turkish archers and 3 companies of Contarati spearmen.
Take up your positions, men! Make this day ours!
As a night fighter, Emperor Alexius attacks at night, but the night being so dark, he decides to wait for the dawn, and the dawn being so misty, he opts to wait for the sun to rise before he launches his attack.
It is an honor to be thought a well-educated man, for are we not a nation of erudite warriors? But I tell you that in all the books I have ever studied, I have never seen an account of creatures as lowly as our foes. However, my learning leads me to suspect that they may die as easily as other men. These rebellious knaves and villains are not fit to breathe the same air as we honest men. They must all die before dawn comes again. This is a mercy, because they richly deserve the gallows for turning against their betters. As a man of learning, I tell you books and all that stuff are all very nice. But on a day like this, you want a sword and a good suit of armor. A cutting word is nowhere near as good as sharpened steel. Let's to the enemy and show them!
So here's our emperor, Emperor Alexius Comnenus. rebels of Sinope, having plundered the public treasury, decided to tear down the stone walls and import Norwegian wood to make a wooden wall around Sinope. Had we realized that earlier, we would have set the silly wooden wall alight rather than wait for a year for those siege rams to be made. But who would have thought our enemy would have built a wall of wood? Now that we have the siege rams, we might as well use them. Setting wood on fire is not fair game in this game. The enemy has only brought out spearmen here, so we are safe, relatively safe from missile fire. For some strange reason, the AI has kept its archers in the town plaza. Here more spearmen are passing by this farm on the way to the walls of Sinope. By the way, the skins for the Contarati and some of the other Byzantine levies were made by Paleologus, a fantastic skin modeler that finally made some nice skins for levies of the Middle Ages. At last, justice for the common man. These Toxote have skins made by Antonius, another mortar.
Excellent! We have breached our enemy's walls.
They have breached the walls of Sinope with their siege ram, and now our army begins to pour into the town.
Excellent! We have breached our enemy's walls.
Seeing the walls breached, the defenders decide to retreat into the town plaza. The cavalry charged them and mauled them there. The enemy soldiers simply melted away like shadows dispersed by the morning sun. It was a one-sided fight in which we killed enemy soldiers, and all the enemy soldiers did was to fall dead.
The enemy are badly blooded. They have lost half their men. mercy! Our men no longer command the city!
My anxious friend, you're out of sync with virtual reality.
All of Christendom will be awed by the victory we have won here today.
My girlfriend's cat would have won this battle, but who cares if victory it is? Such is the fate of all who challenge imperial authority.
Yes, Lord. Please.
Sinope is peacefully occupied by our magnanimous emperor.
The day is ours. The enemy are beaten. My lord, these people become your subjects through victory.
My Sultan sends me with word for your leader.
A Turkish emissary asks for a trade agreement, which we grant gladly.
We are humbled and honored you would accept. We welcome words of wisdom such as these. As-salama.
After all, they were also offering map information, a handy thing to have, since the Turks are one of the three factions that need to be eliminated to win the campaign.
Greetings. I come bearing word.
A Georgian emissary also turns up that sounds like the British actor
Many
Peter
thanks.
Cook.
Please continue with your suggestions.
Why is a raven like a writing desk, I wonder?
He asks for a trade agreement, happily granted.
We have no complaints with this plan. Another course of wisdom to share. I do not think you would accept my position. We welcome your further good reason. Let us not take this further. Goodbye. We look forward to our next meeting.
Our emperor lowers the taxes in newly conquered Sinope. Our diplomat heads off for an embassy to the King of Hungary. The ungrateful citizens of Sinope have rioted against our emperor. Perhaps he made an error to spare their lives in their city with its silly fence and not burn everything to cinders. Civil disorder is spreading through the empire. We have now Georgia as our ally. Romanos Laskaris is now a Taxiarchis, a brigadier. Ioannis Komnenos' piety has increased after visiting the Hagia Sophia. Better late than never. 11 centuries after the birth of Christ, Trebizond gets its first Christian chapel, and Smyrna now has some dirt roads, as a result of which our empire becomes truly the most advanced in the world. An aristocratic lady seeks to marry our co-emperor. In reality, in real history, he had married a German princess, and our emissary is on his way to find him a bride in the courts of Europe. So, sadly, the offer of Constantine's hand has to be declined. Hostilities cease between the Moors and the Kingdom of Aragon. The highly vaunted wooden palisade of Sinope has been repaired. Irene Komnenos Ducas is born to the Komnenos Ducas family. The Moors are now the most advanced faction. The Empire of the Romans is still the most populous and militarily the strongest faction.
Greetings! I come bearing word for you today. Good. We have found something else you'd like to suggest?
An emissary of the Abbasid Caliphate offers trade rights which we grant. They refuse an alliance which would have been useful in the forthcoming war against the Turks. We can bide our time.
Never. You approach with something more reasonable now? I am not certain I should, but I accept. If you intended to make matters worse, you did it.
We are now in the year of 1103 and units are recruited in Corinth ahead of our campaign to take Arta back. Arta, like Sinope, has rebelled and has been lost to the Empire. Very many useful projects are completed throughout the Empire and the future looks bright. We are surely now the most advanced faction. Our diplomat, Marianos Prokopis, has presented himself to the royal court of Hungary, asking for trade rights,
Do not think our people... You have another proposal then?
which are granted. Unfortunately, there is no princess available for our heir, so our diplomat takes up the subject of an alliance, which the Hungarian prince accepts. A wonderful development.
Very well. What else would you
This
like to
campaign
discuss?
uses the Savage AI, by the way, which even on very hard difficulty is nowhere near as hard as the Gracul AI. We also offer an attack on rebels as part of the overall agreement, and our emissary leaves the Hungarian court with his mission accomplished.
An order?
In the meantime, our second diplomat, Mattheos Kontralistos, has presented himself to the Turks, but has made no impression on them.
There is no way this out.
You would speak of something more?
The Turks refuse everything he has to offer, even free money. But at least they seem for now unprepared to go to war against us.
We must decline this you speak of, Sadiq.
Garrison quarters have been constructed on Cyprus. The governor of Cyprus, Eustathios Lampinas, rises to the rank of Taxiarchis, as does Constantinos Angelos, the governor of Smyrna. We have a new bishop named Timotheus, one who honors God, a fitting name for a bishop. The Turks are now the strongest faction. We have fallen to second position and the future is now more doubtful. Constantinos Angelos is traveling to the frontier town of Baris.
I see no reason why. Very good. What else do you have to suggest? Nein, another proposition for the Reich?
The Holy Roman Empire refuses an alliance, but after the protracted negotiations, they seem at least pleased enough that our relations improve from so and so to outstanding.
Nein.
Sadly, there are also no suitable brides for our prince in the HRE courts, so our diplomat Marianos Prokopis leaves for Italy in pursuit of a bride. Thank you for watching.